Did 2 more Hisuian forms just leak for Pokemon Legends Arceus? We've got a lot of rumors, riddles, and leaks to break down right now. Let's do it. Yo, whoa, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka Drive. I'm bringing you guys a brand new video today, and today we are diving into the world of Pokemon Legends Arceus and all the rumors, riddles, and leaks that are surrounding those upcoming titles from various sources. If you've been following the channel over the last week or two, we've been covering a lot of the Riddler coverage. We've been talking about Ball Guy leaks and a bunch of different other accounts that are seemingly covering a lot of the same information. Actually, a lot of stuff is lining up about what is coming for Pokemon Legends Arceus, and it seems as though there is a bit of a track record here, as we have seen things like the Hisuian Zorua and Zoroark be confirmed. We have a lot of other signs pointing at Hisuian versions of Decidueye, and of course Samurott and Typhlosion, and what those typings look like. So I encourage you to check the description below for some of those videos, but we've got a lot to uncover today, including 2 images that have surfaced last night that may be Hisuian Bergmite and Hisuian Voltorb. It's about to be pretty crazy, so let's dive in. If you guys enjoy these types of videos, like the video down below, and of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. And of course, if you haven't pre-ordered Pokemon, I've teamed up with Best Buy for the holiday season. Any Nintendo products you buy from Best Buy through my link helps me out, so check the link in the description. You can pre-order Legends Arceus there, or Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. You won't miss out on any of those pre-order bonuses and everything in between. But let's jump into it. So the Riddler came out, and we're gonna kind of jump around a little bit here. The Riddler came out with a couple different things. The first thing he comes out with is this picture, says huge hints for rideable Pokemon and noble Pokemon. Now again, he likes to communicate in riddles, and we've got 5 yellow dots and 5 blue dots. And then we go and look at what Ball Guy Leak says, and he says, Legends, some noble Pokemon are for ride, some nobles are for assist. Each one can do something in the game for gameplay. Expect at least 8 nobles in total. So we know that there's rideable Pokemon like Weirdeer and Basculegion, right? And obviously the Hisuian Braviary. But it also seems as though some of these noble Pokemon, like Kleavor, for example, have utility in the game, which makes so much sense, right? Like, to me, this is nothing mind-blowing, right? We have this idea of, like, Kleavor maybe cutting down trees, much like Cut has functioned in the main series game since Generation 1. So, again, keep an eye out for these noble Pokemon to basically function as HMs or some sort of transportation in this game to allow you to advance, because we know that this game is not an open world exploration like we originally thought, but rather it's gonna be segmented and in some ways linear with open discovery in terms of specific areas. A little bit more openness instead of the confines of a specific route, but again, it's gonna be like a bunch of wild areas is really what it's gonna boil down to, I think. But you're not gonna be able to access the second wild area until you do the thing you need to do in the first wild area. So there still will be some linear progression there. The Riddler then goes on to say that this status is substituted with a new one in Legends Arceus. What would it be? And they show the various status conditions: burn, frozen, paralysis, poisonous, sleep, confusion, flinch, and faint. And I'm curious what one of these could be replaced. I don't think frozen gets replaced. I don't think burned gets replaced. I don't know. It seems as though they're gonna replace something here. Maybe flinching, maybe fainting gets replaced. I don't know. Poison, I don't know. I really don't have a ton of thought here. Poison would be the one that comes to mind, but I'm not really sure how they would take away a status condition and replace it with something else. So if you have any theories or ideas, feel free to throw them in the comments. Further, they go on to say that in the Pokéride has 5 successions, though the 4th one is different from Mudsdale Gallop, which is stamping horizontally on rough surfaces, this time climbing vertically. So they're saying in Legends Arceus, there's 5 Pokérides as well. So you've got the Tauros Charge, the Stoutland Search, the Lapras Paddle, Mudsdale Gallop, and Charizard Glide, but instead they're replaced, right? So it's like Weirdeer riding, right? Something that can search for stuff, Lapras, or something that you could ride on Basculegion. Instead of Mudsdale kind of being on a flat surface, you get to climb on a surface, right? Which is what we're assuming to be the Sneasel line. And then Charizard, but instead it's Braviary. So again, more hints there in terms of those ride Pokemon, to circle back to that. Further, they go on with one more riddle, saying that a few fans nailed this one, so a detailed pick breakdown goes: what she says and the color of Arezu's bracelet tell the type of that lady. What she wears tells the appearance of that lady, and her personality tells the impression of that lady. And that's their 4th post for the weekend. So we know that Arezu is one of the wardens, and that there's a special lady Pokemon that is tied to her as a noble, which we're presuming has some sort of functionality in the game, which is kind of what we just recapped. So they're saying that the bracelet tells the type. Well, it's brown and green. Green is always associated with grass typing, so we'll have to see what's up with that. A lot of people are speculating, when you think of a lady-like Pokemon, you think of Serena. Some people are speculating Lilligant because of the type of flowers on Lilligant wouldn't necessarily grow in the Hisuian region. So a lot of people are saying maybe Lilligant. There's also some speculation around the Pokemon Jinx potentially getting a new form. I think at this point, if I were to just throw a dart at the board, I would probably say, let's keep an eye on Petilil and Lilligant for this. But at this point, I'm a little stumped on this one. I think we just don't have enough information to like fully know what this riddle is, but it seems like we're headed in the right direction in terms of the Riddler giving us a little bit more insight as to what Erezu's noble Pokemon is going to be. Now moving on, we've got Eclipse coming out and saying that there's 17 Hisuian Pokemon variants, 7 brand new Pokemon. Do you have any idea who they are? Try in the comments because, you know, do it soon. It's gonna be very much so public knowledge soon. So we've talked about some of the different forms. We know some of the new Pokemon. Exciting stuff though, 17 Hisuian variants, 7 brand new Pokemon. We've seen a handful of them like Zora, Zoroark, Growlithe. We've seen some of the new Pokemon like Cleaver and Basculegion and Weirdeer and Braviary as a form. So still plenty to figure out, but some of the ones that have been rumored right now are actually Bergmite, Hisuian Bergmite and Avalugg, and Hisuian Voltorb and Electrode, and it just so happened that images of those Pokemon surfaced on the internet last night, and it's remained to be seen whether or not they are real or not. So we're gonna throw them on the screen. Obviously there's a spoiler warning here. My first thought on these is that they're fake. I'm just gonna say that. I genuinely think that they are probably fake. The Bergmite looks very convincing, okay? The Bergmite looks like it could be very real, and they say that I'm a trailer editor. I don't know why you would out yourself as the trailer editor, but editing the next trailer, so I have access to the artwork for Hisuian Bergmite and Hisuian Voltorb, which are Ice and Steel, and Ghost and Grass for the Voltorb. Pokedex mentions the raw copper stuck in Bergmite has high toxicity, and the Voltorb hides in trees disguised in Apricorn and plummets down an unsuspecting Pokemon. Trailer soon, not exactly when though, probably in a few weeks. The trailer is gonna reveal Hisuian Bergmite as well as Hisuian Voltorb. So these are the two images. The Bergmite, like I said, looks very convincing. I actually look at this and I say, I actually feel like that looks like a real Pokemon. Like I actually really feel like it looks like a real Pokemon. The Voltorb does not look like a real Pokemon to me though. I look at this thing and I say, there's no way this is real, but then I think about it and the more I look at it, the more I'm like, really? It looks so bad that it could be real. So they say here's Voltorb. Its face is drawn on with berry juice and it's meant to be a ghost grass version of the different apricorns that exist in the region that you presume to make Pokeballs. When I look at this Voltorb, bro, this is what makes me feel like this has to be fake. There's no way this Voltorb is real, dude. Like in my mind, there's just no way this thing is real, but I've been bamboozled in the past, bro. I'll never forget going back to X and Y, leak season X and Y, when Binacle leaked in X and Y, and it was the two little hands sticking out of the rock, and it was the blurriest image of all time. I'm gonna try to find it for KG to add to the video. And I was like, there's no way this thing is real. There's no way this is a real Pokemon, and it was. So, you guys have seen it. You guys can let me know in the comments section below. I'm gonna write these off as fake until proven otherwise, though. And furthermore, Eclipse does come out and say, don't worry, they are better than those. Eclipse saying basically these are fake. Also saying they're happening. Bergmite and Voltorb are happening, or they're better than those. And we'll have to wait and see what ends up happening. Eclipse seems to have a little bit of inside info here, so we'll have to see how all this plays out, but interesting stuff nonetheless. And that is it for our news, rumors, and riddles coverage for today. What do you guys think about that new Bergmite and Voltorb form? Real or fake? I'm gonna put the stamp of fake on this one for now, but we may want to come back to this one and revisit. That Bergmite is convincing, but I'm just not sold on the Voltorb, so I'm gonna write them both off on this in this situation. We're not gonna fall for this trap this time, but you never know. I've been bamboozled in the past, and there's been crazy stuff leaked in the past that people have been like, no way, that's real, and then it ends up being real. Like the screenshots of the Lapras from Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. I mean, the list goes on and on, so you really just never know. Fun to talk about nonetheless. Be sure to hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. And that's that, guys. Let me know your thoughts on all the riddles, rumors, news, and everything in between. And stay tuned on the channel for more updates. My name is Dan. I also go by A-Drive, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.